Forgot to open my chat window before starting the stream. Whoops. Then go. Put it over here. See that and this. All right, there we go. Ugh. Again, this thing is in front of that thing and the other thing, and ugh, it's annoying. Makes it hard for me to see, honestly. Okay, there we go. All right, finally, I have it set up properly. Good now? Yes, okay. Hey, Monmouth, welcome. The last week when I played, I did see, when I consulted a walkthrough, because I was stumped, right? I did see, because I didn't know you could combine 3 different things. I did see that there's an Easter egg, and I unfortunately, it was very short mention of it, so I know what the Easter egg is, so I'll go ahead and do that once we load into the game, just so that, you know, we've got that. It's a nice little thing. Now, I don't know, the Easter egg may or may not, they called it an Easter egg. I have no idea, I've not played this before, right? So I have no idea what exactly it is. Could just be a Steam achievement or something, but it might also legitimately be an Easter egg. So if it's an achievement, the Steam achievements appear underneath where I have my webcam on the stream. So I'll just tell you what the achievement is if I get one. Hey Cosmic, sound like you had an exciting night. All right, well, I usually give a little bit of time for people to jump on because I know not everybody can make it right on time. And of course, not everybody can make it every time, but not everybody can make it right on time or anything. I half the time don't make it on time. So, since we've got a couple on line now, I'll go ahead and load the game and start, and somebody can just jump in when they start. Still forgot to go. Whoopsies. He's like, yeah, and then I didn't even go to the bathroom all night. I'll be right back. Oh, so here is the Easter egg that I saw. Okay, and again, I didn't try to see this. There was one thing, because I did, like, for anybody who's, you know, didn't catch that earlier, I did not know that you could combine more than 2 thinking items at the same time, which potentially means you might be able to combine more than 2 actual physical items later. I don't know. But anyway, I thought I knew you could combine 2. Like, think about this in comparison with this. I didn't know you could do 3. So that, I didn't know that. So I found that out last time. But while I was looking, I did happen to see some mention of an Easter egg, and it was really brief, so I know exactly what it is. So, so it's basically you go in here, and you want to Beatnik, yeah. You want to enter the birth date 5/31/37 of H.P. Lovecraft in memory of H.P. Lovecraft is the achievement. Yeah. So you get this. That's cool. That's really awesome. I really like that. That's one of them. I would guess you get, because there's a second date also. That's his birth date. And then if I enter a death date, so it's 08, and then it was 20th, yeah, 20th of 1990. 8/20 of 90. Yeah, same thing. So you get the picture. So if you enter his H.P. Lovecraft's birth date or his death date, you get this in memoriam picture of him. Pretty cool. Oh, crap. Oh, dang it. All right, well, because of course always something has to go wrong. Now you can see. So I'll leave the picture up so you can see. So if you enter Lovecraft's birth dates and death date, you get a little pixelated, of course, because it's this type of, it's a PDF, like an older PDF style, but you get a pixelated picture of H.P. Lovecraft. So it's pretty cool. I think that's awesome. Because this game, right, is a Lovecraftian point and click. So the whole point of, or the whole theme of this, right, is in honor of Lovecraft. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. Okay. So that's, anyway, and that's, I guess it is an achievement also, but that little portrait, I guess, is the Easter egg. Probably, I mean, I don't imagine anybody would guess that on their own. That's probably right. Yeah. I mean, it's an Easter egg, right? Easter eggs typically are things not easily found. Sometimes things, like you said, like you have to have programming knowledge or something in order to even be able to consider them or whatever, right? Okay, let's back in here. This is one nice thing. One nice thing with taking a week in between playing is I have some chime. I have some chum in the water for the sharks. I have some time to reflect on things that I've done so far in the game. I'm not gonna pretend like I spend even an hour every day or something thinking about it. I don't have that kind of time, and I don't spend that kind of time thinking about games anyway, right? But I do, like, for example, tonight we started streaming this. In preparation to come stream this and stuff, I do start thinking about it, like, okay, we left off there. What else haven't I tried? I try to think of some of this. I mean, sometimes you get it on the stream, and I have to figure it out then, right? But I try, when I know we've got kind of a stopping point, I try maybe the last couple of hours before the stream, not just solidly, but here and there, try to think of, what haven't I tried? Where was I missing something? Right? I try to just think about the game so far, what I could do to take it forward. And one of the things that sticks out to me is we have all these other books, right? Like if you go here, like all these other notes, right? And we had back at our apartment. Maybe this isn't a good example. This one isn't a good example of it. But you have, like, back at our apartment and stuff, you have all these notes and things in different books and stuff where we're underlining. We've not been underlining, like, anything in the different books like this and in Clarfield's notes. We might have done it in note 2. I don't remember now. Yeah, we got this, right? Piece of ladder broke off. But for the most part, we haven't really been underlining stuff. Well, I mean, I've tried some things and they didn't underline, but I feel like they're probably, just given that mechanic in the game, we probably have to find things to underline in the different books and probably just haven't found it yet, right? And I thought we'd start with here, but I want to come over to the tray because those are more notes and we maybe look at something there. So this is a month. 1 month after I bought the house. Oh, nothing there. Okay. Found myself, especially since a lot of stuff is centered around dates, right? The Lovecraft stuff for the Easter egg, but also just to get into the PDA in the first place, we had to have notes about the date when the witch is supposed to come again and stuff, right? So, yeah, I mean, it is. It's needle in a haystack. That's right. So, both that Easter egg, which I'm guessing you might have talked to, but also just generally speaking, there are a lot of things you have to, it is a point and clicks. Point and clicks rely heavily on being extremely analytical, very, very meticulous in your examination of things, right? So, let's see. So I write these notes, pressing care. I tried that. So I found myself lost in thought, adrift in its dim silence. I escaped the meaningless monotony of my life by listening to every creak, every sound the house makes. I don't remember if we've really sensed sounds here so much as we do have the stuff talking about like the smell, but okay, that's nothing. May not write often, but I think that these notes are important. Found this house only by an astonishing coincidence. I'd gotten lost in the snow-covered narrow streets of this part of the city. While I was wandering, I felt an awe, as though I were adrift in some misty past. Probably not a clue there. I awoke from my wonder and strove to find the way back. That is how I came to this house. It's almost like this mystic force took him here. I still don't know. Let's do this anyway, but I don't think this probably is anything. No. And then the other part, thought he was in some kind of misty past. Woke from my wonder. Sort of finds his way back, and that's how I came to the house. Nothing there. Okay. Hey, Fofox, welcome. You gonna take the headphones off? Hey, blare it up, man. Make everybody in your neighborhood realize you're watching my stream. Its majestic appearance attracted my attention for some time and wanted a place to come from time to time. To listen to this overlooked world of the past that no one knows and where no one wants to come. Found a bear... Listen to this overlooked... Is this talking about... I don't think this is a clue like if I do a think thing, but I wonder if this is talking about the tapes. So he's listening to this overlooked world of the past. Or is he talking about all the creaking in the house? I don't know. Okay. Found a barely legible metal plate of the half-ruined garden wall that showed the number of the house. It was covered with rust, probably as old as the house itself. Probably not. I doubt the number of the house is going to be the clue for opening the briefcase on the side, but no. Okay. Covered with rust. Okay. Without hesitation, I recorded this number in my digital organizer, which I bought some time ago because of my increasing forgetfulness. When we go in the digital organizer, we can only input dates, right? It never has... Oh, I thought I already did this, though, but 1/3/2011? I wonder if that... Probably not. 1/3/11? No, okay. I didn't think so. I thought we'd already tried the different dates for entries and stuff here, but... Okay. When I inspected it from the outside, it was obvious that no one lived there at the time. Examined it in order to learn if it was for sale or not, and can't describe the feelings, but found the person who was selling it. Later, I talked to the vendor, and with a happy smile on his face, remember, he said that he had never come here before the house had been left to his company because of a mortgage, and he wanted to sell it right away, but never thought this would happen. Okay, I don't think there's a clue in there. He didn't know anything more about the house, and in fact, I wouldn't have cared if he had. I bought it without hesitation. Just got done doing taxes? Nice. Well, I mean, it depends on how you're doing it and stuff, but if you use, like, for example, TurboTax has that free online one or whatever, as long as you have a simple tax form or whatever. But anyway, if you use other software, TurboTax or H&R Block, or there's another one I'm not thinking of. Anyway, if you use a tax program, those generally will guide you through anyway, so you don't make mistakes. Yeah. So I'm sure that those didn't make that you won't. You'll be fine if you use those. You can actually even buy like a guarantee from them. But anyway, that's beside the point. Point is, those generally you don't have a problem if you follow what the guide says. Okay, there's one point that I don't want to continue without mentioning. After I bought the house, I learned that I had another admirer who introduced himself as Ivar Bergen, a Norwegian immigrant. Judging from his appearance, it was obvious he was a wealthy person. And I remembered he said when he first met, he was also an aspiring owner, but it seemed he was too late. I just had a thought. What if Ivar Bergen killed Clark Field because he wanted the house? Like, pretended to be all friendly with Clark Field, but eventually killed Clark Field. Like, maybe, what if the smells we're seeing are Ivar Bergen put this gas or something into the house so that Clark Field would hallucinate, which would make him freak out and make him leave the house behind. But Clark Field never actually left. He was more resilient or whatever than Ivar thought. And so Ivar eventually decided to kill him because Clark wasn't leaving. That also could be totally made up too and not at all part of this game. But that's just a thought just occurred to me. Interesting. I wonder. Curiouser and curiouser. We know Clark Field is dead. He was murdered. So, but right now, it's pointing to Loth Nolder as the one who killed him, which we don't know if that's actually true. All we know is Loth Nolder was charged with that, and then that he has escaped. We don't actually know, because I don't think we were on the original Loth Nolder case, right? I mean, in terms of like the investigations and with the police and stuff, I think we're the psychologist who have been following up with him and stuff while he's in prison, I think, right? Because it talks about Clark or Loth Nolder being one of our patients, right? I believe. Might be misremembering, but I think that's right. Anyway, okay. So that is interesting. I wonder. Another admirer introduced himself as Ivar Bergen. He said when we first met that he was also an aspiring owner. Seemed he was too late. Probably also know then with that last one being no. Yeah, okay. Okay, I didn't see anything on this first entry. This house is an old and real place beyond my imagination. Cannot stop thinking of what it would say if walls could talk. When you're getting creaking sounds, walls are kind of talking. Some of the surrounding houses have been abandoned and shunned by people and are on the brink of collapse. A few of them even collapsed a long time ago. Punctuation there. But anyway, I don't think there's a clue in here. This just tells us that, people got scared of stuff that was going on with this house or background of the house or some such, right? So I don't think there's really a clue there. Like in terms of something that will help propel our story forward. Makes me wonder as to the probability of restoration having done fairly recently, or sorry, makes me wonder if the probability of restoration having been done fairly recently, since the house is still standing firm and strong. Yeah. So he had considered doing restoration himself after the fact, after this entry, but at this point he started thinking the house sure is in good condition, even though everything else is falling apart. I wonder if they've done restoration work recently. Finally went potty. Okay, yeah, it's interesting. Okay. Maybe the main reason for the bad reputation of this quarter, like I think by this quarter he means like this district or this neighborhood, this area of the city, is the different rumors that are often spread about some of the abandoned houses. These rumors recount how these houses have sometimes had bad owners, including some unknown foreigners. See, that's Ivar Bergen is a foreigner. I don't know that there's a tie there, but it's interesting. Could be. Probably not, but could be a tie. Some people in the town consider the crime rate to be high here, but that has not been my experience. The inhabitants of the neighborhood keep very much to themselves and don't socialize frequently, other than to gossip quietly amongst themselves. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in here I need to underline, right? Maybe this? I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, no. I don't think so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else on here I want to look at. I think that's just an entry. I don't really think we have clues there. Started getting to know Ivar Bergen and can say that our interests coincide almost completely. He visited me after our first meeting. We took an opportunity to talk at length. He managed to enchant me with his vast knowledge of mystic subjects. We talked the night away, discussing topics of mutual interest, and he told me about the things he experienced in some Eastern European countries and in India, and about his connections with some really esoteric and secret people and societies. Um, that's a possibility. I do feel like, however, that might be a little too distracting. I don't know. I mean, obviously, some people would be fine with it, I assume, but I think there are some people on YouTube who, if they, I mean, these days I don't get all that many views, of course, because I don't really care that much, but um, I feel like people who do watch it, maybe just on YouTube, hearing all the additional chatter about like needing to go potty and stuff might. I mean, I get enough people talking about how I don't always stay focused on game content. I feel like that might be not a great idea for streams. I'm not saying that I'd be opposed to doing that for games that don't get streamed or uploaded or anything, but I feel like that might be too distracting on a stream. Not, I could think about it, but I'm not sure. I feel like maybe not, but I'll think about it. Okay, we already did this one, so yeah. So Ivar Bergen had interests coinciding, and they talked the night away. Connections to secret people and societies. Okay, he told me he had read some books and tomes which were prohibited, or attempts had been made to try to destroy them a long time ago. He cannot describe the pleasure I had when he expressed his unbelievable theories about the background of most of the things which are assumed to be superstitions, with proofs cited from the things he had read in some of the ancient sources. I mean, this is all pretty much the same, right? If I didn't get something on the esoteric or the prohibited books and tomes, if I didn't get any clue from that, I doubt I'll get it from the other sentences there in there. For a long time, I lived almost alone amongst ordinary people and cannot describe the empty feeling that I always felt within me. From now on, I think that I will not have such a problem anymore. In life, it is really hard to find someone who you can speak with, even within your own family. I told Ivar this from the bottom of my heart and encouraged him to visit me whenever he likes. That does also present the possibility of opportunity for murder, right? Because if Clark gave Ivar an open invitation to just come on in and visit, it's a person the victim knows, offing the victim. So the victim generally has even less chance of stopping the crime, right? Of escaping with their life. So, I don't know. I'm not saying that everything's pointing to Ivar doing that. I'm just saying that there is definitely a possible motive and a decent opportunity for him to do so. Oh, yeah, if there's like a Q&A or something, that's probably different, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Okay, 3/3/2011. Before tending to the outdoor areas, I decided to restore the interior of the house. Yeah, so here's where he starts the actual work on it, or getting the work done. To do this, I was assisted by the original blueprints. While I was checking the antique furniture last night, in order to decide what to throw away, I found one carved wooden statue and a strange well-like dig, whose opening was successfully covered with a single piece of rusty metal plate and some wooden blocks. Did not check this room before since it was not given, because this is all the stuff about the well that we've already done. Might have noticed beforehand, but didn't have much time to get the keys, being busy with company agreements. The man from whom I bought this house was abroad traveling. Incidentally, there's another point that I can't continue without mentioning. That room, which oddly enough contains a well, has no electric wiring. So it's strange that in contrast, all the other rooms have electricity. So I had to light up the room with some lanterns that I found amongst the old furniture of the house. Because this is all the stuff on the well again. I think we've already got what we will from that. I don't know. Maybe I need to go through it line by line just to make sure, though. Is there anything I want to underline in that paragraph? Nothing sticking out to me as a clue, per se. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, company agreements? Yeah, maybe. Let me see. I feel like maybe, whoops. I feel like maybe you're talking about one entry back. Where was that? Pretty sure that was... was company agreements. There was somewhere. Yeah, that was mentioned. Here we go. It is the entry where we were. Busy with company agreements. Nah. Okay. I felt a slight cold draft coming from within the carefully covered well. Occasionally I heard some rattling sounds. Because I didn't have a strong enough flashlight, couldn't examine the situation down below. I even threw a few small wood blocks down, but I only heard sounds which made me think that the ground at the bottom is covered with mud. See this right here with we have that muddy shovel, right? As soon as possible, I'm going to buy a stronger flashlight and try to examine down below. There isn't even the slightest clue regarding the reasons for digging such a well. Maybe it is the entrance to an underground room which was dug for the purposes of taking shelter during extraordinary situations such as a war. I wanted to take a look down there, but the ladder at the side seemed too rusty and flimsy. I decided that trying it would be too dangerous, so I tried to find another way, but I couldn't find anything useful at the time. The carved wooden statue is a complete enigma. I have no idea what it depicts. Whenever I hold it, due to reasons I can't comprehend, I feel that it is very ancient. It was carved smoothly from a species of tree that I don't recognize, and it contains a secret compartment. Yeah, I believe we already pulled what was in this compartment out. Or we still have yet to insert something in it. I can't remember now. I think that I unintentionally did something because it opened by itself. Maybe it was already open. I'm not sure. Was nothing? Yeah, there was nothing in the secret compartment. It was completely empty. Yeah, I think that's the same. So we found it the same way, I think. Oddly enough, I felt that it had once stored something very precious. So a gem, maybe, or something? Or some kind of secret knowledge? I don't know. In addition, a beautiful yet subtle smell is dispersing from within the secret compartment. Cannot tell what it is. Maybe it's some type of incense. I wonder if this is that Dversa they talk about. We have, okay, help me remember if one of you could type in the chat 03/24/2011, this date, because I'm going to get out of this for a second. That makes me want to. We have this stuff about smelling, right? We've actually got 3 of them, looks like. We have strong scent. We have harmal smell. We have something in the air. This is making him feel dizzy. That could be that Dversaha, right? The plant used as an air and mind purifier, which is also that Dversaha, right? And their strong scent. The other stuff I think is different. Were all of the things I saw hallucinations? Did the incense smells cause me to experience strange things? See, there's the incense you mentioned in the journal, yeah. Oh, I got a new clue. Hallucinations. Were all of the things I saw hallucinations? The incense caused me to experience strange things. Okay. Okay, so those don't relate. doesn't make sense, I think, is a bit of a stretch, but fine. Okay, so we did get this as a new clue. All right, so back to the journal. Yeah, here's the one. Okay. This is where we continue. I think I've really started to get used to the house. During the first weeks, although I even hid this from myself, I felt like I wasn't going to get used to being here. I was jumping at every creak and cautiously listening to every sound. I kept waking up because of some excessively dense, strange smells whose source I couldn't identify. This is, again, the same stuff we were just doing. Is it possible that Mr. Field also experienced hallucinations? Because the incense smells in his house? Clark Field also hallucinated? There's this, too. So is this now tied? In addition, a beautiful yet subtle smell is dispersing from within the secret compartment. Okay, so I guess this is our note on that. This is the same thing. Yes, this may sound childish, but this house has a genius Loki that is really effective. As if all the creaks which are heard within and all these musty smells are alien. Maybe some of the stories I've heard from some of the local people have influenced my thinking. The importance of these stories, most of them being related to the old owners of the houses, seems too much for the local people. When they talk about these matters, a tone dominates their voices that is a mixture of awe and reverence. And as though they are afraid of being heard, they start to whisper. According to the stories, this quarter is one of the first settlements of the Wellsmith. For this reason, the houses which are standing now are the reconstructed, or at least vastly restored versions of the old original ones. There's a special purpose for trying to keep some of the houses intact, and they are too tight-lipped about this purpose. Maybe the sentence before. No, probably not. That's just saying what they are, not... I didn't mean to close that crap. So now I gotta go over again. That doesn't... This up here is less likely to be a clue than this sentence was, so I guess I won't worry about the one above. They mentioned some connections and deep wells, like the one I found in my house, but they refrained from describing the purpose of these. I'll investigate further, hope to learn about these connections or deep wells. Nothing for either of those. Okay. I've completed all the preparations for the restoration and hired a competent, experienced team. I'll start working next week to change all the inner working wooden plankings and wallpaper. I hope that with these changes, I can stop all these musty and other unknown smells. Can't say that Ivar likes this restoration process, though. He asserts that such changes are going to destroy the original genius Loki, and he argued with me on this for a long time. For some reason that I could not understand, I can't stop thinking that he was more angry than he let on. Yes, I know that he's really sensitive about such topics, but I can't change his opinions. I told him this is going to be a restoration that's based on the original design. I'm not going to change my mind about this, and as soon as possible, I want to have the restoration process completed. So Evar, let's see, I can't say Evar likes this restoration process. And then this last one. Can't stop thinking he was more angry than he let on. No. Because anger could speak to a motive possibly, right? But okay. Looks like no. Okay, so now we already did this one? Right? We got that. Let's see if there's anything more. For the past 2 weeks, I was out of town because of my job. And when I returned feeling tired, I learned the restoration has not been completed due to the sounds some of the workers suggested came from the cellar. Okay. This incident made me really angry, and I immediately obtained a strong flashlight in order to find out what those superstitious vagrants may have been afraid of. My purpose was, by using the old rusty ladder, to go down and just take a look down there. It doesn't matter how many steps down I took. The ground continued to be concealed in the claustrophobic pitch blackness of the well. A short time later, I noticed the opening of a horizontal tunnel. I entered the tunnel to check it. We've already been in there, but... okay. I entered the tunnel to check it. I don't know how long I stayed in there, wondering why and when this worm-like burrow was dug. But when I decided to proceed, I felt that my legs were aching. That is strange, but I don't know if that means that just he'd been crawling around for long enough or something. I don't know. Okay. After moving forward a short distance, I reached a wide chamber which was full of blood-curdling, strange statues. Okay, here's this again. The air was dominated by some kind of thick, decaying smell, which caused me to cough frequently. Yeah, it's the same we already got, really, so it's not a big surprise that's not going to give us anything more. The opening of the tunnel on the left, or on the right and left walls of the chamber, some kind of statues. The other figure depicts a ruler sitting on the throne, watching one of them being sacrificed. See, a lot of this stuff I think wouldn't really apply unless you're actually down there, but I don't know for sure. Some kind of smoke was leaking in the gaps that were behind the throne. Maybe that's the source of the harmal or whatever it is in the air, incense. In fact, this was not easily discerned because if not for the wind, which was blowing the smoke inside, I wouldn't have noticed it at all. I heard some sounds coming from behind the gaps, which allowed the wind and smoke to enter. The presence of these gaps made me believe that there may be other chambers below that one. If so, this could be an important archaeological discovery. But again, I don't think unless we actually get to the other side of that part of the tunnel, I feel like this probably won't be something that we can use. Probably have to discover other stuff first. I jumped with fright upon hearing some noises that were certainly coming from beyond the tunnel in the depths of the pitch black well. I immediately entered the tunnel, intent on locating the source of the noises. In spite of my strong flashlight, visibility was limited. Through weary eyes, it may have been a momentary illusion or the enormously magnified shadow of a rat being illuminated by my flashlight beam. But I saw, or think I saw, something moving down there. This is, again, possibly going to the hallucinations. No, okay. I jumped with fright because of this, but only later would realize things shocked me and caused me to wake up from nightmares and listen shivering to the sounds that came from beyond the darkness that, like a thick blanket, covered the places where merciful moonlight cannot reach. While I attempted to see something with my flashlight, within the glutinous darkness, I heard a feeble voice that came from some faraway place, calling out something like, "Come." The voice was very similar to that of Ivar's familiar low-pitched voice. See, this is the thing. This is, again, yeah, I mean, this is very possibly a red herring, right? But this whole pointing out Ivar having the voice similar is... Through the effort of that shock, I threw my flashlight into the dense and dreary darkness. Of course you did. And with both hands free, I dashed to the cold, damp, and rusty metal ladder, which at the time seemed to me as though it was eons old. When I was climbing up and darting back down, I caused a piece of the ladder to be broken off, fell into the pitch darkness. Maybe because of the comforting feeling provided by this incident, I managed to reach the top and get out of that well. The next morning when I woke up to my bedroom, bathed in sunlight, I thought that all these events were just delusions, merely caused by excessive weariness and insomnia. Okay. I reached another conclusion. Maybe Ivar was right about the restoration. This sort of place has very important features invisible to the naked eye. Hence, I decided to leave this house as it is now. I'm not going to make any further efforts to restore the house. And then we have a blank page. Don't know if anything will ever come of that or if it's just randomly a blank thing. There. Okay, so if I go back to this... Okay, so now this. In my teenage years, it was only, well, hang on a second, let me eat this last thing. Okay, in my teenage years, it was my only joy to examine and roam through places where rumors had been spread. Human lifestyle was not for me. I always searched for the ways of the inhuman. I visited old cemeteries full of dread, old ruined buildings, and spent most of my time in these places, which were suffused with a black veil of myths and rumors. One day, I bought a sound recorder and started to record the environmental sounds of these desolated places. I've been spending my time alone. Probably not, but... These notes describe recordings Mr. Field made. I wonder where they are. Bought a sound recorder. All's book reading is interesting? You think so? Well, good. I'm glad it's interesting for you. I would be, it would be unfortunate if you were bored for this. Fairly soon I had a large collection of recordings. Some nights when I couldn't sleep, I used to put my headphones on and listen to the sounds which seemingly did not belong to this world. When carefully heated, the sounds almost materialized to be touched. Genius Loki could be heard. Again, with Genius Loki. He referenced that to the house a couple of times also. I guess not. Okay. See you, Cosmic. Have a good sleep. When my family treasure trove was discovered by my family, or when my secret treasure trove was discovered by my family, because Jonathan blabbed about it, all my recordings were destroyed. They forced me to get to a psychologist for 1 year. I can still remember how Jonathan used to call me Ghoul around that time. Anyway, against all odds, I never abandoned this. I think I can say passion. Oh, I never abandoned this. I think I could say passion. Men never abandon the things that are bound up in their hearts, even if they are suppressed. They never forget. When I was just 22 years old, Jonathan and I became solely responsible for my father's company. Mr. Field's life changed when he took over his father's company at the age of 22. Important event, okay. Jonathan and I became, let's see, I had no time whatsoever for anything else but work. I was so happy when I took over the company from my father. I'll never forget that period of my life. Today I bought myself a new tape recorder. As I said earlier, I would never abandon my passion. I can now pursue my interests in a serious and mature way without the recklessness of youth. No, okay. Okay. Remember to smash the like button. I'm sure you're fine. Set number 1. 1 and 2. Old and new used Moorland Cemetery, Bringston. His notes pertain to cassette number 1. Bringston is a small old town which was established 18 miles northwest of the city center in Wellsmouth. I think I already did this one before, but I'm going to do this anyway just to make sure. Yeah, no, okay. The farms, which are situated whilst going to the north, are as old as the town itself. There are stories which have been told for a long time about a tomb of an old and now unused cemetery called Moorland Cemetery. A tomb in an old and now unused cemetery called Moorland Cemetery. Oh, okay. I could do the old part at Bringston. I think that's less likely than the cemetery specifically, but let's do that. Yeah, no, okay. It is said that some nights strange noises and indescribable disgusting smells come from within that tomb. See, this is... Some nights strange noises and indescribable disgusting smells come from within that tomb. Oh, I guess not. Okay. Some people who use the rough pathway which passes 150 meters west of the Moorland Cemetery relate that they saw some tortuously twisted silhouettes and heard some howling, screaming, and squeaking sounds that they couldn't identify. It's a rough pathway, passes 150 meters west of the cemetery. Okay, I started my recordings here at about 2:48 a.m. It was so dark and overcast that almost impossible to see the surroundings. I used a small flashlight, but I had to be very cautious because of rumors about some grave robbers who plunder the old graves by spreading all the bones around in a disgusting, inhuman manner. Wait, is that where Clark Field was buried? He was killed and then buried with that. There's this shovel that has the mud. I was thinking that had to relate to the well. Did somebody use that shovel to bury Clark Field? Is he buried over where these grave robbers were? Like, whoever killed him disposed of his body, basically? We've got some grave robbers who plundered little graves and flinging bones around. Disgusting, inhuman manner. Okay. The metallic half-open door of the notorious tomb had some figures in half-relief similar to Rodin's The Gates of Hell. It was rusted and had started to crumble away, the effect of the passing years. The spacious interior smelled really awful. Again, we get the smell. Well, I mean, it's a tomb, so tombs smell awful anyway. There's nothing special about that necessarily, right? The cover of the stone tomb was broken, and the interior was visible through an opening. The floor of the tomb had collapsed into a wide underground hole. I heard that during a strong earthquake 4 years ago, some parts of Brixton collapsed into underground holes or caves. We have the well and then that tunnel. Okay. And then I think the same earthquake was the reason for the collapse of that tomb. I recorded both the interior of the tomb and the building surrounding it. Okay. Recording number 3. In a cave near the Northwood Forest. Okay. Whereabouts of this cave, which is located 3 miles away from the notorious Northwood Forest, is not widely known. Okay. No worries, Fox, no problem. I'm going through notes, so it's not exactly the most exciting part of the game. It is connected to some other caves that form a complex underground network. He mentioned this when he was talking about the tunnel that went through from the well and under his place, right? But I guess that's not a clue, at least not right now. It is rumored that a lot of people have become lost inside and never returned. Some people claim they've seen fires inside, heard some sinister sounds coming from the depths of the cave at night. Right, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to stay focused on watching the text as I read it, really, right? Because I'm doing that. You can have your attention diverted elsewhere and you won't miss anything, right? Because I'm saying what I'm reading through out loud anyway. That's all I'm saying. Record number 4 by The Dig in My Cellar. Some sounds are coming from the well in my cellar. I don't know what lies beneath it or the reason for its construction. From the top of the well, I used a flashlight to examine the well. But it was too deep for me to see the bottom. Sounds coming from the well below make me think that there are some animals down there. I believe it must connect to a tunnel that leads outside somewhere. Maybe a tunnel connects to outside somewhere. Maybe that's a... Nope, looks like no. Okay. Record number 5 in my bedroom. For some time, I've been woken up by a squeaking, trembling, and slight wind sounds. Or by squeaking, trembling, and slight wind sounds, whose source I can't identify. Several times, hardly suppressing my fear, I roamed the house but couldn't find anything out of the ordinary. It is said that in houses this old, these noises are common. I guess I just have to get used to it. Records. I don't think there's anything in that record, really. Just, I heard sounds. I already tried the... Well, okay. I don't remember if I did the sounds or not. I think I did, but... Okay. Squeaking, trembling, and slight wind sounds. Yeah, no, okay. Maybe I was remembering doing it previously or something. I don't know. Okay, record number 6 and 7, In the Well. I decided to examine the well because the workers I hired for restoration left the job half done due to some sounds they claimed to hear from within the well. The rusty ladder that I hadn't dared brave before was my only avenue. I bought a strong flashlight to inspect the interior. I decided to record some sounds down there, but I could only record some sounds in the room that the tunnel leads to. When I listened to the recordings later, I noticed some defects. There were some deep noises and rumblings on every recording. I think that the dirty and choking atmosphere of the well caused my recorder to malfunction. Recorder malfunction? Probably not, but... Yeah, no. Okay. Alright, records 8 through 10, I guess. In Ivar's place. Meeting at Ivar's place. Made a recording about that. Okay. I had an opportunity to make some recordings in the worm-eaten place, which Ivar and some other friends of his are using as a meeting place. When I told Ivar and I wanted to make some recordings, he preempted me with a strange, disturbing smile on his face, saying that he was sure I would get success in making great recordings. Okay. That building, which seemed so strangely strong, whilst showing the signs of rottenness all over, made me feel very uneasy. Christopher T. Dredden, one of the 3 men in that meeting apart from Ivar and me, told me that this place was built by an unknown witch. Couldn't be sure as to whether he was being serious due to the sardonic smile perpetually on his wizened, thin, long, and pale face while he spoke to me. Again, with this whole weird smile stuff. Okay, we did get more notes, though. Okay, so if I now go to my thinky, let's see. Let's see. Okay, nothing there. Let's see. I mean, we have the age of Clark Field. He's 22. I don't know. Do we know his birth date at some point? Do we learn that? There's no date on this is a problem, right? We can't postulate from 22 to that. No approximating a birth date. It's that one. One month after he bought the house. So it would have been December of 2010 when he bought the house. So if I go back 22 years from 2010, what would that be? 1988? What kind of number would a forgetful person use as a password? Yeah. So that's not it. So oh, I know what I can do for his date of birth. I can go back to my office, right? I believe in my tray in my office, I have the details about his murder or about his autopsy, right? Which would include his date of birth, presumably. No, that's crap. There's Lothnolders. I don't want his. Stop. Hang on. My office, not his. Yes. My office. There we go. Oh, we're a police detective, not a psychologist. My bad. Sorry. And I knew we were doing detective work, but for some reason I was thinking he was a psychologist or something, but I guess not. Okay. So this is, yeah, Clark Field. Date of birth, 1976. So if I add, he was 22 years old. So 76, 96, 98, 1998? Maybe I was off by one. Instead of 1988, I should have said 1998. Mr. Field was born in 1976. Makes sense. That's a locked case, though, if I add that. Ring a bell. Still, we could try it on our own. So he was born 76, so 98. Let's try 1998 and see. Never know. Might not give us anything, but maybe. The original, we're not examining an original crime. Well, okay, so the original crime was Clark Field was murdered. Loth-Nolder was tried. So Loth-Nolder had been hired by Clark Field to do some investigation work. And then Clark Field was murdered, and then Loth-Nolder was tried and convicted of Clark Field's murder. But it seems like there was a lot of evidence was kind of iffy in that trial that got Loth-Nolder imprisoned. The very beginning of the game, our character is woken up by a friend calling on the phone saying that Loth-Nolder had escaped. So he's out and about. Okay? So, Loth-Nolder's escape is what kicked all this off, but what we're investigating is more details about Clark Field and what he was doing, any ties that might have to Loth-Nolder, and anything like a motive or opportunity or weapon, any of that stuff that could be used to give more evidence to the murder, so we could either for sure pin it on Loth-Nolder or vindicate Loth-Nolder if it turns out that he doesn't seem to be guilty after all. Okay. So what did I say? 76 and 22 is 98, right? 1998, maybe. '98. I unlocked it. Hey, there you go. So it's his birth date plus the date, plus 22 years, which was the important event. So it's the year of the event when he took over the company. Yeah, no problem. Oh, I hope I didn't come across as like irritated or upset or anything. I just was trying to make sure I explained everything. Would you spam people go the hell away? Bye. God dang it, I really get annoyed by those people. Okay, so he said, I unlocked it. So he used the year of the company takeover as the password. Open and shut case, achievement unlocked. Oh, these show up in the upper right. Usually they're in the bottom left. Anyway, or bottom right. Anyway. Okay. Oh. So do I back out and then click it to open it? There we go. What is this? I'd better insert the cassette first. Oh, okay. First, let's do this. These are Mr. Field's notes. More of them. We know cassette number 1, right? That kind of highlighted. So let's do that. Let's see. Where does it show up? Here. This. And put it in there. Okay, here we go. I'm going to be quiet because we're going to have some voice acting give us more of the story.
Cemetery, Brengston, 2:48 a.m., 5th of October 2010.
So creepy noises. Wonder how long this plays. Sounds like maybe somebody opened a door. Maybe some odd breathing. This is a long recording. This is definitely sounding like something is opening, closing, some breathing. And maybe just generally creepy noises from a cemetery. I feel like there might be a mausoleum, right? Or something at the cemetery. I think that was mentioned. So if there is, I wonder if something came out of the mausoleum and then went back in, or vice versa. Someone's coming. Seriously, someone's coming. That's right. They seriously expect you to play like 5 minutes of track before moving on. I'm expecting it to just stop on its own. Maybe it's looping? I don't know what's going on. I kind of don't want to stop it, because if I stop it, then and I have to play through the whole thing, then I have to start it all over again. Living Dead. This is Lovecraft, not Romero, so I don't know about the Living Dead. I don't know if it's looping. I'm just wondering, because some of the sounds have been repeated. Multiple times. Okay, well, I'm going to make an executive decision. Hopefully I don't regret this. I'm going to stop it, because I think we're good on this now. Oh, maybe I can fast forward and rewind and stuff? Oh, this goes to track 2 now. Okay. So this is track 2. Should play all of this on Halloween for ambiance, right? I like it. Was that a Banshee's keening? Nah, it's not strong enough. Again, something sounds like a door, maybe. And that one finished. So track 1 kept going and going and going and going and going and going and didn't finish. Like, took forever. I'm like, I don't want to sit on stream for like an hour with this thing playing constantly, right?
In a cave near the Northwood Forest, 4:22 p.m., 14th of November 2010. A lot more water, making me wonder if there's a pool or something in the cave. Just some mild howls or wind blowing.
some rocks falling, maybe? At the end? Interesting. Okay, so we got the first 3 tracks of cassette 1. Let's leave that for now. Let's do our thinky think for a second here. Let's see. Is it me? Or am I missing notes from the tape? I thought we got something on when the first track of cassette 1 played. Did we not? We didn't. Get that off us, right? But here. Don't know. Strange. So I guess go to 4. I don't know. I feel like we should have a clue coming that we haven't had yet.
By the well in my cellar, 10:56 p.m., 13th of February, 2011.
So this is from his well. That sounded like somebody was trying a door, but it was jammed or something. Similar sounds to the graveyard and the cave in some ways. We heard that when we were down there. What if that's what he thought were animals? Okay, that's track 4. 5.
In my bedroom, 3:13 a.m., 12th of March, 2011.
a lot of noise on this one. Just kind of general background noise you'd expect, right? Like from dust in the air, things like that. I think that we heard just a little bit ago, like a few seconds ago, sounded like maybe something was being moved, but I don't know. That was all in his bedroom, so I don't imagine you get a whole lot, probably, right?
In the well, 9:42 p.m., 22nd of May, 2011.
So not above the well, this is now in the well. Nightmares for the past 2 nights. Someone was trying to kill you. Kept trying to run away. Hopefully, if it happens again, you'll face your fears and fight. And when fight or flight kicks in, you kick my ass. Hopefully. I don't really remember my dreams. What was that sound? I remember maybe 5 dreams for my whole life. So it's not really something I generally remember. I mean, not even like I wake up and I have a dream, but it slips from my mind and I forget it really fast. I wake up and I don't even realize that I've dreamed. I mean, presumably I've dreamed. I'm human. You have to for REM, right? But I don't remember ever. Is it? Oh, well. Yeah, face your fears. Sometimes that's one of the scariest things to do sometimes. There's a reason we're afraid of stuff. Interesting. Okay. Daughter's the same way. Yeah, I mean, I won't pretend to know the science of dreams or anything like that, but dreams definitely are a reflection of reality in some way. Real life pressure or whatever. So this is still in the well, I guess. He did say he was getting, how did he describe it? Like, I don't know, some noise or something that was kind of interfering with it, so he couldn't really get a good recording. So these might not be the best, like the most revealing. Again, with those kind of very faint and higher, well, medium high pitched, almost howls, but Can't tell what it's from. It's not close by, it doesn't sound like. Okay. 8.
In Ivar's cabin, 3:07 a.m., 5th of July 2011.
Stormy out when he took the recording or did the recording. Now Ivar or his friend, one of the two, Dredden or whatever, said that the background of the cabin was that it previously had been owned by a witch or something. What if that ties to the witch that was from our book in our set of drawers back at our apartment? Wonder what that noise is. Could be like a sewer grate or something being moved and dragged a little bit. Sounds more like if you had a container of some kind and you scraped metal along the side of it or something. Not sure. Interesting. Okay. Track 9. You used to dream about zombies all the time when you were stressed out. Last time didn't run and was all alone as usual. I had friends to help me over a really tall wall. Huh. Well, good. Yeah. I could see that definitely being symbolic, right? You're trying to overcome an enemy that threatens you of some kind, whether it's zombies or the person trying to kill you. I could understand that. Sure, there's only a sparse amount of stuff here and there on the recordings. I do admit it's kind of cool to be able to listen to recordings that sound freaky and stuff, but I do wonder, I mean, this is kind of a lot to expect from a player to listen to the whole thing and not move along. Instead of just giving you like the highlights of the track that'll tell you what you need to know quickly. I was 9, I think. I don't think it's crazy. Unless you're saying like it's crazy how often that happens or something, or how your mind deals with that. That is kind of, I guess, yeah. But I don't think you're crazy, I guess is what I'm trying to say, yeah. Track 10. So also at Ivar's place, I guess. The feedback noise in the background. Like a speaker you haven't fully plugged your headphones into or something. Or one of those really, really, really old dial radios when you're between stations. So you're kind of picking up some static and not quite at one of their proper stations. You get actually a little bit of that in the game Oxenfree, by the way, right? When you are trying to scan frequencies to sync with the entities that are trying to communicate. Yeah, it definitely sounds like I don't know what that's supposed to be, right? Is that supposed to be a banshee or a like a wendigo or something? It sounds like some kind of potentially upset or hungry or something entity in the background. That was track 10. And that's 10's the last, looks like. Okay. So we got all the tracks there read. We did get this also, right? So more notes. Let's read more of his notes. 3 of 4. So we got 1 in here, 2 in here. There's a third one. So we're compiling. We have one more set of notes somewhere that we'll find. 6/9/2011. Last night during our conversation, Ivar blurted out that he has a secret meeting place in Northwood Forest. Yes, I clearly recall this. Because as soon as he realized he had made a mistake, he tried to change the subject. Okay, so secret meeting place, Northwood Forest, maybe. Ivar Bergen has a secret meeting place in the woods. Yeah. Okay. After a short while, when he realized that I had understood him, he told me he was planning to invite me there quite soon. First, he had to speak with some people whose identities he intentionally avoided revealing. Doubt this is thing because this goes to the whole secret place, but let's do this anyway. Some people whose identities he intentionally avoided revealing. Yeah, nothing. Okay. Yeah, it could be, but the thing is, there's no way, like with the pages, right? Like we're reading now. We have this pen icon here, or pencil, whatever, we can use to underline and then think about something, and then we analyze that more closely. I'm not sure. They didn't really seem to provide a way to analyze stuff on the recordings as far as I could tell. There was a power button to get out of it, right? There was a forward 1 track or back 1 track. There was a play. There's a record button. I wonder if the record button, maybe the record button would be something we use. Suppose. Let's try it with the record button. That does require you to sit and listen again, because the only forward and back options that I saw were advancing to tracks, to other tracks. So I'm not sure about that. In fact, I'm going to come back to this, but give me just 1 second. I'm going to see if that even is active when you're listening to a recording. So if I go here and I go this, and I say play. Oh, there is a recording. Not while I'm doing it, though. It doesn't seem to do anything while I'm playing it. So I suppose that's probably to record information later. Maybe we'll have a point where, like, we heard something. Oh, let's go ahead and record that. Right? That's probably something that's going to happen. Get out of here. Judas Priest, I frickin' swear. Stupid douche buckets. Really annoying. All right. He spoke about this place a bit and emphasized in particular that it had been empty for a long time, but from an aesthetic point of view, had every comfort that people like us always seek. He told some tales about this place, which is far away from the closest habitation, and came about through a series of events that are mostly forgotten now. He told me that it always seemed to be a place of pure evil, without even taking into account a few rumors. It is not known who built it or when it was constructed. In time, it became an object of fear, which also caused people to be afraid of the forest. Interesting. Okay, he left after that, telling me that he would soon invite me to this place where he and some of his special friends met. After he left, my mind was churning with strange thoughts. After so many gruesome things had been mentioned about it, it may sound strange to some people that I still wanted to see such a place where darkness and myths of dark medieval ages were imprinted. But things like that are the only things that matter to someone like me. I don't even know. It has something dot, and then it's got random stuff like dot dreams and dot special or whatever. And it's just like, I don't even trust stuff like that. Why would you jump into a chat and go word dot word, like, and say literally nothing else? I can only assume that's spam, so I just block it. Yeah. The only thing I got out of this page is this, really. I tried a couple things in here, but just saying that Clark was excited to hear about it and stuff doesn't really, nothing to underline there. And I did try a couple things in here and didn't get anything more, so I think we're done. Maybe one more thing, but I doubt this is anything. Pretty sure that's going to be nothing, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is a month and a week later. So 5 weeks later. After quite some time, I got to see that special secret meeting place that I've already mentioned and promised to invite me to. On a stormy night, I had to traverse Northwood Forest, a place that no one wants to enter after dark, due to its lonely and notoriously twilight world, which can daunt even the bravest person. I drove my car through the forest on the uneven soil pathway, between the dimly lit, evanescent lights and sounds which resembled the nighttime frolics of wild fawns. Suddenly I saw, or thought I saw, some recesses which probably opened up to some underground clefts or caves, about which I had heard many tales during my childhood, since some of them were believed to be meeting places for witches. Okay. Fauns, half-man, half-goat creatures from Roman mythology. Okay. Meeting places for witches. Okay. It's caused my uneasiness to grow. Maybe the matter that caused me to be so greatly affected there is the 200-year-old incident that caused a drunk named Annabelle Glaucio to scream horribly whilst running to the town on the uneven soil pathway and trails from that forest. He'd been bleeding profusely, and because of his screams had caused everyone to wake up and gather around him. I read this story of craziness in a newspaper article as told by the drunk himself. In this article, he mentioned a group of people who had worn clothes made of animal skins, living in a small cave hidden by the forest at the foot of Northwood Mountain. After eating something, the strange group summoned something from beneath a dark, well-like hole. By pounding the palms of their hands onto the ground, playing a thing that the drunk described as a musical instrument, which was set up by the edge of that dark well-like hole. The well-like hole, though, obviously conjures up the idea of the well here in this house, right? In Clark Field's house. Interesting. And after that, as a result of the thing that had answered the group's call and come from below the well-like hole, the drunk had run screaming Asdanoit all the way to the town. And I know that, according to the article, all the local people accused him of being in a drunken stupor while in the forest and inventing the entire story. I had investigated the story and discovered that it was in accordance with some historical truths, and I decided that these are not matters that can be invented by a simple drunk like Annabelle Glaucio. Okay, maybe for that, I was looking to see if there's anything to underline there. I don't think so. Maybe for that reason, that night, I proceeded through the forest with a cautious feeling inside me. Now, I can't be sure. When I reached that sinister-looking place situated on a cliff just outside the forest, the time was 2 in the morning. Oh. Okay, so he's saying he can't be sure about the reason, I think, is what he's saying. When I reached that sinister-looking place situated on a cliff just outside the forest, the time was 2 in the morning. It was not large, but its old, darkened, waterlogged, worm-eaten wooden planks made it seem disturbing and, since I could not discern its features in the darkness of the moonless night, it seemed to me even more formidable with this manifestation. I couldn't help thinking that Edwin Pickman was looking at it when he wrote these lines. So I couldn't help thinking that Edwin Pickman was looking at it when he wrote these lines. There it stands under sunlight, a marker to show it's still there, as black as a night with no moonlight, and its doom is laid so bare. I don't know. Do this, 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 that. Nothing, okay. Participating in the meeting were 3 strange people in addition to Ivar and myself. As time passed, our conversation got deeper, and I felt as though their verbal and facial expressions were emitting a penetrating, dense, evil sensation and a disgusting pressure, which made me feel nauseous. At first, I thought that this feeling which somehow I couldn't shake off, even though it was caused by the height and age of the place. But now I shiver with fear much more than even that night, when I remember looking into their corpse-like dull eyes, and remember the fast movements of their exceedingly thin bodies, and their whispering in an unfamiliar language, while looking directly at my face. Guess all that. Nothing, okay. Until morning in that worm-eaten building, which is standing on that sinister cliff, we spoke about suspicious topics and unknown secrets without caring about the freezing effect of the whistling wind that blew in from between the rotten old planks. Maybe the thing that helped me not to care about the place, and most important to all, about those 3 cadavers, were the topics that enchanted me and benumbed me like alcohol. These topics were beyond all ordinary human thinking and perception. They showed me some carved antique stone pieces and old books. I think it's probably supposed to be antique, but they spelled it with a C, so I'm not sure. Anyway, and old books, and told me about the hidden machine that only Franz Mesmer dared mention, and about the powerful alchemists and magicians whose names are unknown to ordinary people. I couldn't help thinking that there were many more things that weren't shown to me. For a long time, I thought that I heard some strange noises that I couldn't hardly separate from the roaring sounds of the sea that accompanied the storm, which I didn't dare mention when I saw that the others were unaware of this. Okay, Franz Mesmer. In here, Mr. Field had mentioned Dr. Franz Friedrich Anton Mesmer, an Austrian physician who was infamous for introducing a hypnotic and trance-like state in human beings as a curative remedy. (7/18/2011). I think I dropped my digital organizer in the well during my mad rush out, which frightens me to consider. I couldn't find it, although I searched everywhere in here, in my apartment, which is downtown, and in my office. This is very bad for a forgetful person like me, who sometimes can't even remember something that happened even an hour ago. However, I don't want to go down there even one more time just to get my digital organizer. After all that craziness, isn't it ironic that I'm still staying here of my own volition? So the organizer I found in the well belongs to Mr. Field. Okay. Don't think that's anything, right? Yeah, no, okay. Okay. So, we have his organizer. Organizer date entry. Oh, okay, I don't know. Meeting at his secret place. And his secret place. Let's see. I don't know. Not sure. We did make a decent amount of progress, though, I think. We got several clues, listened to several recordings, of course. Yeah. Okay. I think we'll save it there for tonight. All right. So that is going to do it for me for tonight. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your support as always. Yeah, so tomorrow, no Yomawari. I mentioned this in Discord, I believe, so everybody saw, but I will be in basically a digital, like an online conference all day. I think I start at 9 tomorrow morning, and I won't be done until like 6 or something. So I'll be gone pretty much the whole day tomorrow with that. So we won't be doing any Yomawari in the afternoon or whatever tomorrow, but we will do the normal stream tomorrow night. The conference, by the way, also goes Sunday, like a huge length of the day Sunday, like basically the same, like another 8 hours Sunday. So it's one of those weekends. Sometimes those happen. Anyway, so that'll be it. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate the support as always. And yeah, I mean, I'll talk to you guys on Discord or when I'm out, in comments on my videos that I might upload or whatever. One thing that I will continue to think about, of course, is some of the clues we've got and see if I can piece things together throughout the week here and there, especially right a little bit before next Saturday when we stream again. And hopefully we'll make a lot more progress as well. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Appreciate the support as always, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Until next time. Peace.
Poor spider.
This freaking boy.
Oh, that's so sad.